evaluate the exact value of the following expression without a calculator. So we got two expressions: secant pi over 3, 3 pi over 4. So pi over 3 is a standard angle. So let's look at part of the unit circle. Okay, in the first quadrant, that's 90 degrees, pi over 2 is 0. In the middle, that will be 45, pi over 4, and pi over 6, 30 degrees. And here comes pi over 3, 60 degrees. And we know the coordinates for this one is equal pi over 4, root 2 over 2, comma, root 2 over 2. The first will be cosine and the second will be sine. Okay, so cosine of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2, and sine is also root 2 over 2. And here comes 30, pi over 6, that is root 3 over 2, comma 1/2. And here is just the opposite of this, in the reverse order, 1/2, root 3 over 2. And this is obviously unit circle, means 1, 0, and this is 0, 1. Okay, and let's remember the first quadrant. This is in the first quadrant. So when we have pi over 6 in the second quadrant, we get pi minus whatever the angle in the first quadrant, that's theta, pi minus theta. So pi over 6 is pi over 6. Pi over 4 is 3 pi over 4, and pi over 3 is 2 pi over 3. In the third quadrant, pi plus whatever that angle is, so that will be now 7 pi over 6. This will be pi over 4. This will be 4 pi over 3. Okay, and then here comes 2 pi minus whatever in the first quadrant, so 11 pi over 6. This will be 7 pi over 6. Okay, and here comes 4 pi over 3, that's now 2 pi minus this one, so 2, 6, so pi over 3. So these are the angles, and the values will be same, but we need to follow the rules. All science students take calculus, all positive, only sine positive, and it's reciprocal, tangent, cosine. So here secant pi over 3. Okay, secant, we don't have value for secant, we have only values for cosine and sine. So we need to find secant. So secant of any angle, here we comes pi over 3. Secant is reciprocal of cosine. So we need to figure out the value of cosine pi over 3 and flip the fraction, take the reciprocal. So cosine pi over 3 is what? Okay, pi over 3 is here. Cosine means first quadrant, 1/2. So 1 over, this is 1/2. This is 1/2. Reciprocal of 1/2 is just 2. So this value is 2, by the way. So we have 2 times 2. It's 4. Minus tangent 3 pi over 4. 3 pi over 4 is related to tangent pi over 4. And we don't have value for pi over 4. Let's find tangent pi over 4. Tangent is reciprocal of sine and cosine. Sine means y value over x value. So pi over 4, oh, they are same, root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, so simply 1. Or we know that tangent pi over 4 is 1. But that's in the first quadrant. So 3 pi over 4, that's in the second quadrant. And in the second quadrant, if you look at the quadrant rule, only sine is positive, tangent is negative, so 1, but in the second quadrant, negative 1. So minus and negative means plus, so this is 4 plus 1, 5. Okay, now let's do part B. So here's the tangent of negative angle. We know that sine and tangent are our functions. Sine of negative theta is negative sine theta, and tangent of negative is negative of tangent theta. But cosine is an even function. Cosine will just eat out that negative sign, just cosine of angle. So this negative will be pulled to the front here, and negative will be positive. Okay, this negative pulls to the front, and minus, negative minus plus. So 2 times tangent pi over 4. Oh, we figured out a little bit earlier. Tangent pi over 4. Tangent is y over x. Just the y value, the sine, divided by x means cosine sine. So 1. Tangent pi over 4 is 1. As we said, this negative will be positive now. 1 over 2 times tangent 5 pi over 4. Tangent 5 pi over 4. 5 pi over 4. Okay, this angle, as you can see, this one is related to pi over 4 again. And this is in the third quadrant. First, second, third quadrant. In the here, in the third quadrant, tangent is positive. That means pi over 4, tangent pi over 4, and is also positive, and that's 1. Okay, this value is simply 1 plus sine pi over 6. Pi over 6 is in the second quadrant. First, second quadrant. Okay, sine in the second quadrant. Sine, look at here, ASTC. Sine second quadrant positive, and pi over 6 is related to pi over 6. So what is sine pi over 6? Here, root 3 over 2 comma 1 over 2. First value is cosine, 1/2 is sine. So that's 1/2. And this is also for sine pi over 6, also 1/2. And sine is positive in second quadrant, so 1/2. Okay, so this is 2 times 1, 2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1 plus 2, that's 3.